Instead of trying to change the white man in your mind, make you accept us, we change the mind of the black man and make him accept himself. And as soon as he accepts himself, he'll solve his own problem. He won't be trying to force himself into your factory and into your bedroom and into your kitchen.
With no education, you have neo-colonialism instead of colonialism, like you got in Africa 9, like you got in Haiti. So what we're talking about is there has to be an educational program. That's very important. As a matter of fact, we are so important for us that a person has to go through 6 weeks of our political education before he can consider himself a member of the party, able to even run down ideology for the party. Why? Because if they don't have the education, then they're nowhere. You dig what I'm saying? They're nowhere because they don't even know why they're doing what they're doing. You might get people caught up in an emotionless movement. You understand me? You might get them caught up in because they're poor and they want something. And then if they're not educated, they want more. And before you know it, they'll be chaplets. And before you know it, we have Negro imperialists.
Peace and Black Power family. Your Harlem educator, author, and activist, the Black Liberation Coach, Brother Agyei Tyehimba. I just want to take a few moments to welcome you to Harlem Liberation School's YouTube channel. Harlem Liberation School was started in 2016 by myself and my queen. And we basically saw that there was a lack of foundational black political education going on in Harlem. We're not going to get up from under white supremacy without knowing how oppression works, how it affects and impacts in our community, the ways in which we internalize our own oppression and engage in self-defeating behavior and thinking, and our socio-political movements and our very important individuals and organizations throughout our history who played a leading role in fighting against and resisting and disrupting white supremacy. So Harlem Liberation School was founded as a black political education center for adults. Because education is not just relegated to children. Adults need education. It's those of us adults who maybe when we were kids did not get that foundational Africana studies, black political education, the things we need to know to be free and to fight effectively for our liberation. And so that's what we're here to do. We hope that you will come through, check us out, look at our videos, like them, comment on them, and share them. Peace and Black Power. Peace and Black Power families. Brother Agyei Tyehimba from Harlem Liberation School, where we teach black people to wake up, clean up, and stand up. Family, the 3-part call and outline provided to us by our beloved brother and Malcolm X. Hope everyone is well. Hope everyone is at peace while engaging in war to counter the war that's being, directed toward us. It's only right and logical. Today, family, we're going to be discussing the topic of don't hate, celebrate other black people. But before we begin, I just wanted to do as a quick reminder, today at 3 p.m. Eastern time, 3 p.m., we're going to have a panel discussion on our YouTube channel, Harlem Liberation School on YouTube, featuring Brother Amun Takala Imhotep of the Anubis Militia in Houston, Brother Babu X Amawale of the Huey P. Newton Gun Club, and our brother Ashanti First, the proprietor of Fitness, Fire, and Fuel. We're going to be talking about this issue of protecting the black community. What does that involve? What are the things we need to consider, and what they specifically are doing to protect our community? Because I hear people say we need this, we need that. Nobody's protecting us. And I beg to differ because I know people that are personally involved with these militias who are serious people who put in work. So we want to expose you to the work they do and have you broaden your idea of what we mean by protecting our community. Please tune in, Harlem Liberation School on YouTube at 3 p.m. today. Don't miss this very important conversation. And please come with your questions and comments, family. And most of all, come with a loving and beautiful spirit. That's what we're talking about this show. Today, we're talking about don't hate, celebrate, and we might even add congratulate other black people. We should not have to have a show like this, family, because this should be something that comes natural to our people. When we see that a black man or a black woman is shining, right, coming from a people that this society did everything it could to make us deaf, dumb, blind, paralyzed, apathetic, depressed, right? And non-motivated. And you see a brother or sister shining comes through all of that and is rising, is getting their education formally, is got some type of job or doing some type of service for our community or being acclaimed or awarded or recognized. That should make you and me feel good. We should be like, yeah, another brother and sister showing the world how our people do. But most importantly, showing our people how we do so that the little boys and girls who feel that they ugly because they dark, or they ugly because they light, or they ugly because they short, or they don't matter because they didn't get this grade, or whatever our hangups are, every time you see these brothers and sisters shining and breaking through different barriers and making it happen, that is a motivation for young people, particularly, and for some of us older people to say it's not too old for me or you to pursue certain dreams. So we should be celebratory. We see brothers and sisters doing good work, whether we are familiar with the work they do or not. If it seems like they're doing something they're doing is good, it's not hurting our community, it's helping our community, then we should be celebrating. And if we can't celebrate, we should shut our mouths. If we can't say something encouraging and uplifting, then we should say nothing. You remember your mother taught you that, right? When you was a little kid, if you can't say nothing good, say nothing, right? All right. This particular Black Power sermon, which I usually do on Sundays, by the way, is coming about on the heels of a post that I put up on Facebook, I think yesterday or 2 days ago. It was a picture of me at about the age of 27, I believe, 27 or 29, one or the other, standing alongside my number one jugger in the whole wide world. And I got quite a few, but he's the number one, Dr. James Turner. He's now deceased. Last year he passed, became an ancestor. And the picture is showing me in my, the cap and gown, having just graduated formally and received my master's degree in Africana Studies from the Africana Studies and Research Center at Cornell University. The man that I'm standing next to, my Jagna Dr. Turner, was the founding director of this department. This department is known all over the world. It is one of the first of its kind. It is actually the first to offer a master's degree in Africana Studies. And I mentioned in the post that Dr. Turner was one of the architects and pioneers of Africana Studies, along with his teacher, Dr. John Henrik Clark. So the post really wasn't just about me. And I said this is one of the proudest moments of my life. But it wasn't just about me. It was giving light, shining light on my teacher and his teacher to show you that there's a continuation, right? That the knowledge and the political struggle continues generation upon generation. Um, and it was to give Dr. Turner a big shout out because he's a man whose name may not be known as much for people who are not in Africana studies, but his name should be known for the tremendous work he did for 40 years building an academic department that did not exist prior to him getting there. And the students chose him to be the director, right? They said they went to a conference in DC. They said, man, this young brother was breaking it down. We want him to be our director. Produced so many activists, filmmakers, professors, intellectuals, writers all over this country and the world. And it'll be rare that you hear an African or New African open their mouth to say something negative or derogatory about that man. Very rare, right? Okay, so I post this picture, and most of the New Africans that are considered my friends on Facebook congratulate her. Oh, that's beautiful, man. That's a great legacy. And oh, God bless him. And the ancestors be pleased with him. And oh, brother, that's good. You're following good footsteps. Positive, encouraging, celebratory. But there's one person, family, who posts congratulations. That's good. But go back. Go back to school, get this degree, get your hands dirty, and do something. So I saw that and I kind of joked back with it. I didn't pay it much mind. My queen saw that, didn't like it. She was like, you know what? I don't like the energy of that. Why don't you delete that comment? I say I don't really care, you know. I'm kind of from the old school of if you're doing work, you don't get caught up in what people think because you won't get nothing done. But in this case, I thought she was right. As I looked at it again, because of the feeling it leaves, the feeling that it could give me, the feeling that it gave my baby girl over here who's reading that. What's that about? That's the type of thing. What can you be mad at? What's the problem? The brother got a master's degree. That was by the way, that was 30, close to 30 years ago, right? This isn't something I did recently. This is history. I'm just saying. I'm bringing it to light. 100 some people. Hey, that's great, man. Either congratulate me or my Jegna I'm standing next to in the picture, and it's one person. Oh, that's great. Congratulations. But you need to go back, get your hands dirty with something, and get into this or get into that. So I read that like that's that's insulting. It's dismissive of all the work that was done to get the degree. It's dismissive of my beautiful beloved Jegna. Everybody talking about Africana studies, black studies, this and that, don't know one of the key people that put that on the map. And that man is in that picture. Created leaders and filmmakers and people that you wouldn't even know got tutored and tutelaged by him. So it's dismissive of him and his work and his life and his testimony. It's dismissive of John Henrik Clarke, who's referenced in the post. It's dismissive of my work. It's insulting because, number one, who is anyone to tell somebody what they should study in school? That's a little presumptuous and arrogant, right? And if I'm not doing anything that's hurting our people, and you know that in the 20 to 30 years since I got a degree, I've been advocating for our people, protecting our people, educating our people, build institutions in the neighborhood for our people, challenge the white man, never let him off the hook. Then what's your beef? Why are you upset? Why does that make you feel funny? And this brings me to this Black Power sermon. I believe in my heart, this person may not have met Malice. I will never know. I actually don't care. But we need to be less flippant on these typewriters and on these phones and with our mouths. We need to be more respectful. We need to be more celebratory, and we need to be more congratulatory. When we see one of our own in our village making a move, that's beautiful. And if you go into Africana studies, the whole point of doing that is to help your people, to educate your people, to re-educate your people. In my case, to build institutions that do the work of Africana studies. Harlem Liberation School brings Africana studies right to the people, right to the hood. You don't have to go to Cornell or Syracuse or wherever you go. You can go right to your hood, to a community center where people that look like you, who love you, who've worked for you, educate themselves to be better service for you, are there to help teach you and learn with you and teach about leadership and social political movements, Black nationalist ideology, Pan-Africanist ideology, right? That's a beautiful thing. So what is it about us? Peace, Brother Michael Moore. Peace to the Queen B, Sister Brenda, that's my Queen B, to my brother Michael Moore, peace back. The question becomes, what is it about us that makes us feel so funny when another black man or woman is striving, is doing something empowering, is doing something that helps us, is shining? What is it about us? What does it say about us that some of us feel funny? Now, I don't know, and I'm not qualified because I don't even really know this person. They're just a Facebook friend, so I can't speak to their personality. I don't know where that came from, but it definitely read as dismissive and kind of ugly, even somewhat insulting. Like, oh, that ain't nothing. If you want to impress me, get this degree. Like, there's something about that. It's like, ouch. I don't really give a damn, but people that come to my page expect to see empowering, beautiful, inspiring, right, type of work and feel and vibration and energy. That's what I represent. All my life, I have experienced and I have seen really good Africans and new Africans that put in work, that were steady when other people were bullshitting and partying and was studying and building things to help us and our progeny in the future, working for Africans that weren't even born yet. And I seen some simple-minded, low frequency type people hating on them. And that's really a terrible attribute in our community. Now we can chalk that up to a centuries long campaign of denigration and degradation and colonization and imperialism and all types of anti-black propaganda to make us feel we are nothing, have nothing, and can be nothing. And yet still, I don't let us off the hook. We know what the devil did to us. The question becomes, what are we going to do for ourselves? What are we going to undo? We say we want to be liberated. We have to undo things that were done to us. We can't just sit around and complain about what the white man did. I'm never letting them off the hook, family. Never. However, I'm never letting us off the hook. So if we know that we were put through all these negative situations that manifested in negative feelings we have of ourselves and negative outcomes, then it's up to us to address those things, identify them, and remove them. I believe in my heart and soul that it is that feeling amongst some of us. Somebody gets awarded something, great writing. Somebody gets rewarded, got an Oscar. Somebody gets a Grammy for their music. Somebody's rewarded in the local community for being an exceptional black man or woman. People bigging somebody up on the Facebook or the YouTube or whatever. People are very successful in their business, have a nice home, are talking about their beautiful marriage or relationship or their family. And there's people who feel bad about that. There's people who see that and there's something in them that says, you ain't better than me, so what? There's something about that. At that level, we might say, oh, that's hate. And hate in this sense doesn't mean literal hate like the white man hates us. Hate could mean envy, jealousy, competitiveness. You're not better than me-ism. So who do you think you are? You ain't all that ism. It could be any of that. But it takes me back to the mindset of the type of men that would kill Malcolm X. What were they feeling? Were they feeling like, oh, Elijah Muhammad loves him so much and bragging on him and giving him props and he's in the newspaper and black people clap and love to see him and everywhere he goes, people flock to him? Was there a feeling of, he ain't all that. He ain't better than me. And did that feeling, along with the corporate white-owned media and the propaganda of the FBI and COINTELPRO and the police department, all of that working together, did that make black men who this man's work helped to uplift and enlighten and empower, did it make them feel comfortable pulling a trigger on him? It takes me back to that feeling, he ain't all that. He ain't better than me. So what? If you want to impress me, do this. Did those negative and low vibration feelings lead people to willingly infiltrate the Universal Negro Improvement Association created by the Honorable Marcus Garvey, report back to the white man, write letters to the government begging that the government arrest and deport him? Was it that feeling of, he ain't nobody? I came from Jamaica too. Nobody following. Was it that feeling? Because if that's the same frequency, then I'm going to urge us, family, we have to dead that. We have to murder that tendency, that inclination, that low vibrational frequency that when somebody's shining, it's taking something away from you to the point where you can't help yourself. You know that you're in a public place where everybody can see what you read, and you have no problem putting something kind of ugly, borderline insulting and borderline dismissive of the next man who's just highlighting something he did he's proud of and his teacher. Why would you feel funny about that? And if you feel funny about the next man or woman that's doing something beautiful, then that says more about you than it can ever say about them. That we have to murder that instinct, because when that little seed of feeling is allowed to grow, I believe that that creates a devil. See, because a righteous black man and woman is supposed to want for the next man and woman what they want for themselves, right? You see another brother and sister rising, your brother or sister, you've risen in some categories in areas of your life. You know what it takes to maybe get this degree or get this job or start this business. You know what it takes, how hard it was. You had to believe in yourself when nobody believed you. Oh, you just a dreamer. Oh, that's not gonna happen. And you like, all right, and you still doing the work. Everybody sleep, you up early. You going to bed late. You know what it took. So when you see the next man and woman rise, you know what it took for them. So you clap for them. You say, hey man, that's all right, brother. That's all right, sister. Love your nonprofit. Love the team you created. Love your rites of passage. Love your militia. We love what you're doing. Now you can still be critical. You can say, I wish that this organization or this initiative that you're involved with expanded to cover this, or I think it could be a little bit more welcoming, or yes, but you don't dismiss it. You celebrate it. You show love for it, because you know that when a black man and woman rises in this country, they had to work, especially if what they did was explicitly for black liberation purposes. You know that they are not the darlings of this country. You know, they did all that work in resistance to the government of this country, right? And you know what happens when our people resist the government of this country, right? You know what happens to us, right? But it's that seed. Where could we go and what could we be if we genuinely loved each other and celebrated each other's victory? Where could we be? And I'm suggesting to you that when you're on these social media, you're in your family at the get-togethers, the cookouts, you in the community, you're in your organization, and you see a brother or sister shining and getting recognized, or they're giving testimony to what they went through and how hard they worked to get something for our people, and you hear some Negro in the corner tell, that ain't all that. You check them. Don't have to be ugly, but say, hold on, what's your problem with that? Why is them shining making you upset? Why are you feeling easy? Have they violated you? Have they done anything against you or your family? Have they taken your possessions, broken your home, spoke badly about you? So what's the problem? Why? Not for them, because that's a sickness. And those people may never get it, but it's for the people around them. And so the people around them say, wow, I never thought about it, but that is kind of messed up. I never thought about it, but that is the feeling that must go into a brother who would tell on his brother, who would snitch on his own organization, who would draw a map and give it to the Chicago damn police so they could bust in Fred Hampton's apartment and kill him and Mark Clark. There gotta be a seed of, he ain't all that. That don't impress me. There gotta be a seed of that. And what you see when you see sellouts and traitors of the race is that that's the largest expression, is the most negative expression. But it starts with, I'm supposed to celebrate because you did this. That's where it starts. And what I'm suggesting, family, we don't have to be doing backflips when we hear good news of other brothers and sisters. But when you're hearing somebody with that low frequency, low vibration, sucking their teeth, twisting their neck, so what? Why should I celebrate? Or instead of doing that, you should do this. I mean, think of how arrogant it is to tell somebody how they should live their life and what degree they should get and what work they should do for our community. Just think about the kind of mindset that will produce that type of thinking. It's terrible. That's terrible. And we need to stand up as a community and blast that. Just the same way we blast child predators. You hear somebody's a child predator around you, most of us are going to take a position on that. We're going to spread that word, especially if we have proof. We're going to ostracize some people. We're going to make sure our kids ain't around some people, right? We're going to take a position because we don't support that. In the same way that we do it with child predators, somebody coming in your house, they stealing, and they going everywhere stealing and stealing from the organization. We're gonna spread the word. And black people are gonna leave their wallets around this person no more. This person may not be invited to the house no more. We're gonna take a position, a policy and a position. I'm suggesting if we want to see our leaders stop this thing of race traders, informants for enemy agencies, assassination attempts by black people on beautiful black people, we gotta address this issue of deep insecurity, envy, and jealousy of the next brother or sister that is putting in work. We gotta teach our babies young. You see that person? I don't give a damn if it's a custodian in a park, and you see them with the uniform and that long broom. You say that you see what they're doing. That's beautiful. You know why that's beautiful? They're cleaning this park so that you won't run around and fall over something and get hurt. They're cleaning this park so that we have a clean, beautiful park, right, to enjoy. That's how you teach the people. Teach them that that when a brother or sister puts forth an effort that pushes us forward, we celebrate them. I don't give a damn if there's some really big thing to the world or if it's the smallest thing, like your classroom teacher, like a parent who stays up, prepares extra meals, cleaning, teaching, going to work, going to school, and still doing it. When they don't feel well, when they're mad, they're still doing it. The couple that they argue and they fuss and they fight, but they've been together for 30, 40 years because they know how to work it out and push through. We celebrate that because we know that there's a conspiracy that's real, not a paranoid conspiracy. This is real to destroy us, family, to make sure that we don't have stable families, we don't have functioning relationships, that we're always bitter and miserable, complaining and upset, and that we're ready to kill and fight each other over the silliest of things, but we don't raise a damn pinky to the white man that's shooting our people down in the street, or the court system that's giving us a bad way to go and an unfair way to go. We don't raise a finger to them, but we're ready to get at each other. It's a sickness, and I'm calling it what it is. And we have to get to a place where we say, no, nah, we defend people. If you know somebody's doing some good work, they're getting a claim, and somebody in our community comes and got that little hateful germ going on, you say, nah, man, I don't care what you say. I support that brother or sister. You don't have to even be critical of them. Just give the counter. Say, I hear you, but I support them because they're sticking their neck out in a way that I'm not, and you're not. So they're not gonna be perfect, but I support what they're doing. And that we have to get to that place. We have to mature until we understand that that is important. We must support those who support us, and we must not be so nitpicky that we done pick the person apart so much that there's nothing left to celebrate. We can celebrate people and still be critical of them. We can be critical of people and still celebrate them. And that's what we have to get to. The Queen says there's no room for being competitive with each other in the liberation of our people, period. Absolutely right. Our only competitor is oppression. And I'm going to add, i.e., the white man and everyone who works to help to concretize his wicked agenda as relates to our people. You know, I agree with our brother Michael Moore. He says, you rise, I rise positively. Motivation and inspiration is like a domino effect. It creates expansion. And that's the thing. That's why I'm not talking about checking necessarily people who are showing that low vibration. I'm talking about addressing the issue so that everyone around them, we may never get them to see what we're saying, but if you get all the people that reading your posts in your church, in your mosque, in the school, in the organization, and you say, you know what, I'm not going to hate on this person, and stuff may come out that shows that they're not real, but until then, I support that they won this swimming medal. Sha'Carri Richardson winning the sprints. I support that sister. They were hating on her because she supposedly smoked weed, whatever. She came back strong. I support her. We got to get on that page, family. And really, that's all I want to say. I had to get that off because I was going to let it go, but the Queen said, wait a minute, I don't like that. It's like, I don't like that. And she broke down, and I looked at it again and said, you know what? I don't really like that either. if I could be honest, and that has to be addressed. So I deleted that comment because it took away from the positive energy of the post. You don't have to like me, family. I don't have to like you, but we have to respect each other. When you're doing the work, then you got to at least respect the work. Unless, of course, you have evidence that the person is working for your enemy. That's an exception. But if you see somebody's working for you, and I know for me, I can't speak for anyone else, but for me, it's always about um uplifting the next brother or sister. Our whole channel, our whole organization is partially dedicated to bringing light and awareness and exposure to other Africans and new Africans. We're not only tooting our horn, we're over there interviewing other people so you can know African-centered schools in the nation, so you can know about different movements and community initiatives and what they're doing, so you can join those organizations, celebrate them, support them. Our whole premise of existence is about building and creating networks with other brothers and sisters doing the work that we need. And I should also add, as I close, one of the problems is some of us have a very narrow idea of what is the real work of liberation, right? That's the only way you could say, oh, you got a degree in Africana Studies, a master's degree with this guy who studied under that guy. Oh, that's cool. Well, you should do this. Think about it. Let's stop. Stop for a minute. How many things does a nation, well, how many components constitute a nation? How many components? You have a post office. They're doing work for the nation. They're helping your mail to get distributed, right? You have radio stations. They're doing work. They're helping to improve your communications, playing beautiful music, delivering news, right? We have law enforcement agents. They don't work for us, but in our nation, our law enforcement agents would be there to actually serve and protect our people, not just the property, but the people, and courts, and a whole number of other things that provide governance and stability. We have economic systems that provide sustenance. We can take care of ourselves and our families. We got hospitals and doctors and nurses that help take care of our health. All of those people are important to the nation, not just the person that's out there burning the flag or doing a march or doing a protest. All of those components are part of a nation. And who are we? How arrogant and presumptuous would it be for me, because I'm an educator, right? Or because I'm a institution builder or community organizer, I bang on a person who's a doctor. All they do is surgeries. That ain't. Well, look, are they saving our people? Are they rendering competent service? Yeah. So they are important too. The person that's cleaning your street. If we have our own nation, it's a sanitation department. We're gonna need a sanitation department, or we're going to be prone and privy to all that disease. So our sanitation department, you see them out there with mops and brooms and throwing away garbage. They are important too. Yes, the mayor of your city in our nation, the people who are on the radio and on the television and on the internet in our nation, they're all important, presuming that they're doing the work that is good and wholesome and advancing our people. So I hope I made my point, family. There is no room. The queen is right. There is no room for this ugly competitiveness. Because you can be competitive, I guess, in a more pop, but that kind of what you did isn't important. I'm not impressed. Do this instead. You got to get rid of that, family. It's the seed of becoming a devil. It's the seed of becoming a person that can be used to sabotage our forward motion. And his history shows us this. When they talk to a lot of these people that set up Garvey or set up X or set up whoever, when you get to it, you find people were disgruntled. People didn't feel that they got their share of attention. He got all the attention, and even in the street. Oh, that girl was pretty and curvy, and all the guys liked her, and nobody showed me no love. So this young lady may grow up with a chip on her shoulder against that girl. That's not right. That's the seed. And then when something happens, and people are now trying to bother that girl, jump that girl, you feeling hatred towards that girl may make you inclined to jump in that assault or attack against her. And that's what I'm saying. We got to teach the community that that is wrong spirited, it's mean spirited, and we got to eliminate it. We got to love on each other, family. Love, and this can sound corny, you can say what you want, but love is behind true revolutionaries. They're not doing it because they hating white folk. They're doing it because they love black people. They don't want black people suffering. They don't want people who are not smarter and better than them outdoing them. So if you're not motivated by love, this is probably not an arena for you. This is for black people who love black people, who love the idea of being liberated, who love the idea of their children being able to move and navigate in the world with no barriers, with no restrictions, as long as they're not harming anyone. Family, I'm done. Thank you for your attention and your time. I hope that my appeal has connected with some of you. And I want to remind you that today at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, on our YouTube channel, Harlem Liberation School on YouTube, we're going to have some of our militia commanders and some of our business owners that teach about gun safety and registering, getting a gun license. They're going to be on talking about how we protect our community in real tangible ways. Thank you, family. Peace and black power. And remember, even with people with these low frequencies, if we work together, do our study, and we have faith in each other, ultimately, we will win. Peace and black power. Hope to see y'all at 3. Peace.